Okay, so our notes today are going over translation and reflection. Translate means to do what? How are we moving it? Are we flipping it? Are we sliding it? We're going to slide it. Okay, and if you look in the notes title for translations, that SL, maybe you can use that to help you remember that it's a slide. We're just sliding it up and down, left and right. Okay, so whenever we look in an ordered pair, what are the values that represent the numbers in these spots? What are the letters? X and Y. X moves what direction? Sideways, which is going to be right or left, right? All right, if we move it to the right, is that a positive movement or a negative movement? Right is positive and left is negative. So if we are adding to it, we're moving it to the right. If we're subtracting from it, we're moving it to the left. All right, and the Y value moves what direction? Up or down. And up is what? Positive, and down is negative. So make those little notes. All right, it says use your board. We're going to use our little Post-it note here that has the coordinates on it. We're going to plot the ordered pair A, which is 4, 3. So count from the origin. The X value moves to the right, 4. And then we're going to go up 3, and that's our ordered pair for A. Okay, and then it says to translate it 2 to the left and 3 up. If we're moving to the left, is that positive or a negative movement? That's a negative movement. So we're going 2 left, so just from that dot over 2. And then how far up? 1, 2, 3. And so that is ordered pair A prime. Now, what is our new ordered pair? What is this ordered pair? Okay, so count the x-axis first, so it's over 2 and up 6. So the new ordered pair is 2, 6. So that's what we're going to make a note of in our notes here, 2, 6. Now, as an introduction from last week, I talked about how you could write the rule. So if we are taking the values x and y and we're using a rule with it, the rule is 2 left, 3 up. But how do I show that using my ordered pairs? What did I do to the x? I subtracted 2. And what do I do to the y value? Add 3. That's what it would look like. Now, check that work. What is 4 minus 2? 2. And what is 3 plus 3? 6. And those are the numbers that we got for our new ordered pair, isn't it? Okay. So now the next example, we're going to plot this point, -2, -1. So put a point at -2, -1, and name it Z. Okay. And now what is it telling us to do? 4 right. So we're adding 4, and then what? 2 down, which we're subtracting 2. So go to the 4 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 down, 1, 2. What is our new ordered pair for Z prime? 2, -3. Okay, what would the rule look like? What would I take x and y and do with it? X, what would I do? It says 4 right, so what does that mean? Add 4, and y value would be y minus 2. Okay, so check your work. What's -2 plus 4? 2. What's -1 minus 2? -3. So there is, you don't have to graph it if you know what the rule is. Okay, so now this one is just using the rule. Okay, so say is take x and y, x minus 3, and then y plus 4. So what is the x value? And what's 2 minus 3? -1. And take the y value, 5, add 4 to it. What's 5 plus 4? So -1, 9 is your new ordered pair. You didn't even have to graph it. If you did graph it, you would have an ordered pair at 2, 5, which is here. I'll use it as a black dot. 2, 5 is here. And you would go down, left 3 and up 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see this ordered pair is -1, 9, just like what it says. Okay, so this next one, it says to translate. What does it mean if it's just x after we do a movement? It just means it's staying the same. You're not doing anything to x at all, are you? Okay, so this one stays the same. So what is q prime's x value? 3, because it stays the same. And then what is -6 minus 5? -11. And so that's your new ordered pair. Okay, turn to the back. If I'm reflecting something, I'm not sliding anymore, what am I doing? We're going to flip that shape. Okay, if I'm reflecting across the y-axis, the vertical one is the y-axis, right? Okay, so we're reflecting across that y-axis. Look at the distance the point is from the y-axis. How far is point A from the y-axis? How many units? 2. So how far away should it be on the other side? It should also be 2 away. So this would be A prime here. They should mirror each other. All right, so reflect across the y-axis. The point is 2 units. I should use my red marker. It's 2 units from the y-axis. Point A prime should be 2 units from the y-axis. So if A, what is the ordered pair for A? 2, 1. What is the ordered pair for A prime? -2, 1. What is different from the original to the new? What changed? Yeah, the 2 changed to a negative. So the x value is the one that changed. What stayed the same? The y value, yeah, the 1. So if we're reflecting across the y-axis, the y stays the same, and the x changes signs. All right, look at the next example. This next example says to reflect across the x-axis. How far is B away from the x-axis? The x-axis is this one. How far is it? 1. So this is 1 away. So how far above should it be? 1. So this should be B prime right here. Okay, so point B is 1 from the x-axis, so point B prime should also be 1 from the x-axis. What is the ordered pair for point B? Yeah, -2, -1. And so what is the ordered pair for B prime? -2, +1. What changed, what stayed the same in the ordered pair? The x, yeah, the -2. What changed? The sign of the y. Very good. Okay, so this one says when you reflect across the y-axis, that was this one, what stayed the same, the x or the y? The y. Y stayed the same, and what changed? X became its opposite. And if you reflect across the x-axis, what stays the same? X stays the same, and what changes? The y changes. Okay, so now look at our next example. It says triangle ABC is reflected across the x-axis. So if it's reflected across the x-axis, what stays the same? X or y? X. It says it right there, doesn't it? X stays the same. What changes? The y. So 1 stays 1, and 2 becomes what? -2. You just change the sign. And so what's the next ordered pair? -2, 1. All right, looking at our next example, this one says A is reflected over which axis? It's reflecting over this, which is the what axis? Y. You might want to label it the y-axis. And CD is reflected across which axis? X-axis. Okay, so when we reflect something, if we go across the y-axis, which one changes? Change what? X or y? Change the sign of X. So if the rule, it looks like this, then opposite X, but Y stays the same. That's what that means. But if I go across the X-axis, which sign do I change? Change the sign of Y, so the ordered pair XY should become X, -Y, or opposite Y is how you would read that.